Welcome to the Build Your Own Business podcast. My name is Lauren Lonsdale, and I am a serial entrepreneur who has started, scaled, and grown several businesses over the past 12 years. And together with my husband, we have helped hundreds of clients do the same. This podcast is for those small business dreamers who are wanting to take the leap into starting their very own business, as well as those business owners who have big dreams of scaling their business. We provide step-by-step how-to guidance, discuss growing pains in your business, and give real-life business lessons and advice that you can apply to your own business. So BYOB and pull up a seat because we are going to build your business. Hi everyone, Lauren here. I'm so excited to be chatting with you guys today in my very messy desk. I'm excited to have another episode up today. And this is an episode where I'm kind of like really knowledgeable about this stuff because I've been doing this for quite a while now. And this is exactly what I do to help businesses start, grow, and scale, which is, okay, hey, what do you need? What's the tech stack you need to get started on the digital side of your business? Now, some of you may be listening to us and you are not just a digital business, meaning you're not e-commerce, you're not a service-based business, you're not a coach or something like that. You may have a physical store or a physical product that you are working on as well. But every single business, no matter what you do, needs a digital footprint. This means they need a website, they need social media, they need email marketing, they need all sorts of things to have a digital presence. Nobody anymore is flipping through the yellow pages or just driving around to find a business. That's one way to do it. But we have so many online things that we are doing that we need to keep in mind as small business owners. And so today's episode is going to be talking about the 5 most important things you need to get started on the digital side of your business. Okay, so get out a pen and a piece of paper and write these 5 things down and leave some space for notes in between. And then I'm going to list them all out, and then we're going to go back to every single one and talk about the different 5 things that you need. So the 5 different things you need to get started in the digital side of your business. Number 1 is a website. Number 2 is email marketing. Number 3 is your social platforms. Number 4 is an opt-in or an offer. And number 5 is your content calendar. Okay, so make sure you leave space in between all of those. And then we're going to dive into every single one of these individually. Okay, starting off with number 1, which is your website. This is probably the first thing that people think about when they are thinking about getting the digital side of their business started. If they are fully digital or online or virtual, or even if you are a storefront, product-based business or a location-based business, you need a website. That is how people are going to find you. They don't, like I said, they don't look you up in the yellow pages anymore. They're going to look you up in Google, and you need a website to show up in Google. So your website is the first thing people are going to be looking at. There are so many different platforms out there to build your websites, and I'm going to talk about 4 of the most popular based on whatever type of business you have. So to give you a good idea of where you might want to start looking to start to build your website, or if you are looking for a web designer, who you might want to be talking to and making sure that they have experience in this particular platform. So like I said, there's a bunch of different website platforms out there. So I'm going to start with probably the easiest one to work with as somebody who's building your own website. If you are DIYing this, Wix is the easiest one to work with if you are DIYing your website. It is not the best website platform out there, and it offers very limited room for growth, but it is very, very easy to build on. Wix is great for people who just want something that is almost like an informational type of website. If you are selling physical products, Wix is not the greatest place to be. If you need anything that is more than just information based, Wix is not the greatest place to be. It is really easy to build on and can make really fun and beautiful websites. But again, just doesn't allow for a whole lot of room for growth. But if you are DIYing this, it is very easy to use their builder because it is intuitive. It's drag and drop. You add stuff in. Everything is connected already. You don't really have to use any third-party integrations or plugins or any software or anything like that. most everything is built into Wix. In fact, you will purchase your domain from them. You will purchase your hosting. You have to host with them, which is the server where your website lives. And you can do your email marketing with them. You can do a membership type platform, not courses, but if you have like a subscription membership with files and stuff like that, you can do something like that with them. It's pretty intuitive to use. So everything is inside Wix, and you can work through it with apps. They're called apps. They're basically these different things that you might need, like if you want to do an Instagram widget or something like that, that you can add into your website. Forms also, if you want somebody to fill out some sort of informational form, a contact form, that's really easy to do within Wix, and it will send it right to your email inbox without you having to worry about it. Or not your email inbox. It'll send it to a inbox within Wix. You'll get an email that somebody sent you a message, but you won't get it directly to your email. So it can be really intuitive to use. So if you are just informational based, you just want people to know that you exist, Wix is a good spot to be in. The second one I'm going to talk about is Squarespace. This is also one of the easier builders to use, but a little bit more confusing than Wix. Not as intuitive, a little bit less customizable, especially when you talk about the mobile side of things, how the website looks on your cell phone. It is a little bit more confusing to use. It's when you want to like customize sections, you have these theme palettes, and if you want to do like a different, like let's say you have a theme color palette of blue, red, and green, which is terrible for a website, but let's say blue, red, and green. And you want to, on one section, you want the blue background and green font. You would never do this. And a red button. But then in the next section, you want a blue background, a green font, and a green button. You have to like make a whole new theme palette for that button to change the color. It's so frustrating. And their sections are pre-built and you can't really customize them. I can usually tell a website is Squarespace simply because of this white space. Like it's not actually white, but it's called white space, where it's just this like blank spaces in between sections. And I'm like, this is a Squarespace site, but there's nothing they can do about it. The sections are predetermined and you can't change the sizing of them. And so it can make it's not, I don't love it. But like Wix, you will purchase your domain with them. You'll purchase your hosting with them. And then everything's integrated. There is an email marketing platform that's integrated. There is a booking platform that's integrated. And that's probably actually my favorite thing about Squarespace is their booking platform. If you are a hairstylist, a nail tech, a photographer, maybe not so much photographer, but anybody who needs an appointment to be booked, like a blocked out section, and maybe you have different services and things like that, super, super easy to do within Squarespace. And you can have people pay for it right on your website. Like they make it pretty easy on Squarespace to do that. So if you are a hairstylist or a nail tech or something like that, I recommend going to Squarespace in general because they do make it really, really easy to do that. And then with Wix, there was one thing I wanted to talk about with this. Oh, with both of these, Wix and Squarespace, when you talk about their email marketing platform, it is not necessarily email marketing in a very, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say complicated because that makes it sound like it's better to not be complicated. But what I mean is if you want to have several steps within your email marketing, and these are like automations and workflows where they get an email automatically, and then 2 days later they get another email, and then a couple days later they get another one. You can't really do that in Squarespace and Wix. It only really offers this like singular automation, maybe a couple steps, but you can't do any conditions. You can't say, oh, if they click this link, then I want them to go down this sales funnel. If they click this link, I want them to go down this one. There's nothing like that. This is really just basic newsletter sends. You can use other email marketing platforms outside of what they offer. It's just they already have one ingrained in it or organically in their system. And so it's a little bit harder to connect outside email marketing platforms. You sometimes have to use some coding, which the email marketing platform provides to you. it's a little more complicated to do it because they really just want you to use theirs. So it can be done. It's just a little more complicated. So if email marketing is a big part of your marketing plan, you may want to consider doing a different website platform. Which brings me to my absolute favorite, which is WordPress. WordPress is the most customizable. It could technically be coded straight from scratch, which some people do, but most of the time is not done. You are using a builder like Divi or Elementor to build these websites using a pre-designed theme that you will customize yourself, or your web designer will do it. And WordPress offers the most room for growth. It offers the most integrations with outside platforms and software, so you can really customize using what you like and what works for you and your business. You can have software developers come in and create you a customized plugin that works for your website. You can't do that on Wix or Squarespace. It is an okay e-commerce platform. It's called WooCommerce. That's utilized in e-commerce in WordPress. If you are shipping out a physical product, it can be a little bit confusing to set up the shipping platforms. A lot of people will use third-party shipping platforms like EasyShip or something like that will integrate with WordPress. But it's a little more complicated than Shopify, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, which is e-commerce specific. But it can be done. Like, I have a WooCommerce site on all my websites, but they're just digital products, so digital downloads, and or they order it and we get it ordered and shipped for them. That's our workbook, but it is the most customizable, even for the mobile side of your website, which is really, really important, having a mobilely responsive website. For the mobile side of your website, you can make a completely different website that looks totally different than your desktop version if you wanted to. But it really does offer the most customizations, and that can depend on the theme you use to design. But really, WordPress is the most customized, the most integrative, and offers the most room for growth. So if you're not sure if you're going to be adding on memberships or courses or subscriptions or e-commerce or what that might look for you in the future, WordPress really is a great place to be, and to offers that like expansive opportunity for you. And most of the time, if you find some sort of software that you want to use, it will integrate with WordPress, but it might not integrate with either of the other ones. My computer almost went to sleep. It might not integrate with Wix or Squarespace. Most likely it won't. So those are the three most popular. And then for product-based or e-commerce, if you are selling something online, like a physical product you are shipping out to somebody, clothing, toys, whatever it is, beauty products, Shopify is the number one website platform for those physical based products. One, it makes shopping and shipping really easy. And so e-commerce platforms really like that, or e-commerce businesses really like that. It maintains inventory. It makes it easy to put up the products. One thing I can say is that it's not the easiest to build in terms of like setting up how you want the website to look. There is a steep learning curve to how Shopify works in terms of the build. But most of the shopping websites you visit, I'm not talking like Target, but when you shop a small business, they are probably on Shopify. Like any of those boutique clothing places, or even big ones, like when you talk about some of the designer websites and stuff like that, they're on Shopify. And so it really speaks well to how integrative it can be. It's a little more complicated to add in email marketing and things like that, but it's getting better over time because they've expanded so much in the past couple of years. But number one, if you have a product-based business, even though I love WordPress, I tell all my product-based business clients to go to Shopify. Hands down, it's where you should be. It's not as easy to set up, but once it's set up, it's the best platform you can be on for the customer experience. And at the end of the day, that's really what you want. So those are the different website platforms that you could utilize. If you have more questions about that, please just send me a message and I'm happy to kind of expand based on what your business is. but those are the most popular. Okay, so number 2, moving on, we're going to be talking about email marketing. Okay, so email marketing might not be something that you're thinking off the bat you need to have in place, but I can tell you it is probably one of the most important marketing tactics you could utilize for your business. Most people will say, okay, I'm getting ready to the digital side of my business. I need Instagram. I need maybe TikTok. I need Facebook. I need, LinkedIn, Pinterest, whatever it is. Yes, you do need those things for the digital side of your business. Absolutely. But you also don't own any of those things. We've already seen TikTok going down. We've already seen Instagram and Facebook both go down at some point in the past couple of years for at least 24 hours. You don't own those platforms. So if you only reach your audience through social media and meta ads, then and that goes down, you don't have your audience anymore. And that's why one website is huge, but your email marketing list is big too, because this is another way you reach your audience. These are people who are already interested in your product, your service, your offerings, and they have taken the time to enter in their email address to be on your email list. You can't add anybody on your own without their knowledge to your email marketing list. They have to be added onto your list themselves. That's part of FCC compliance. It is illegal to add somebody to an email marketing list without their consent. So these people who are already invested in you, your service, your offering, your product, whatever it is. And this is a great way to have what they're called warm leads, people who already want more of what you are doing. And so this is a great way to really set yourself up with being able to reach those people right off the bat. Now, as a new small business owner, you might be thinking, heck, if you are a new small business owner, you might be thinking, I don't really need email. I don't have any clients. I don't have any customers yet. Like, what am I going to do with an email list? One, you're going to want to get it set up because no matter what type of business you have, there is a way to utilize email marketing, which we're going to talk in a few minutes when we get to opt-ins and offers. And you can start building that list. Two, you're going to want it right off the bat because when you connect it to your website, whether you have an opt-in like a digital download or your product base and you have a discount code, that's how you're going to get people onto your list. So you'll have your website, you'll have your email marketing set up, and you'll be ready to go to start building that list. You can even add it onto social media, which I'll explain in a minute as well. So email marketing is a great place to really the next step after you get your website set up is to do your email marketing. There are a couple different email marketing platforms to utilize. My personal favorite is MailerLite. I use it for pretty much every person I can think of and every client I can convince to use it because it is super intuitive to use. It integrates really well with a lot of different platforms and it is really simple. So it doesn't use all this weird marketing language. It really uses layman terms. So it's super, super easy for you to use. And they walk you through it really easily. So I love MailerLite. Like I mentioned before, Wix and Squarespace have their own. Not a whole lot of customization you can do with it, but it's there if you want to use it. The other two that you'll probably hear, well, there's lots actually. One you'll probably hear a lot of is MailChimp. It's one of the oldest email marketing platforms out there. But one, it can get really costly really fast, and it's quite confusing to use. They use a lot of marketing terms, segments, tags, things like that. But it does integrate with a lot of platforms because it's so old. And it's been around a long time. So MailChimp is usually the second most common that people will use. When we're talking about Shopify, a lot of people use Klaviyo. Klaviyo integrates directly with Shopify, which is why people like it. And it has very, very complicated conditional systems. So when you get really deep into email marketing and you want to do what's called if-then contingencies, if they click this button, then they get this. If they open this email, then they get this. You can do all of that in Klaviyo. You can do abandoned carts. You can do all sorts of stuff. You can do that in MailerLite too. But Shopify, oftentimes people will just jump right to Klaviyo because it's it's not organic to it, but a lot of people use Klaviyo with Shopify. Another one that you might hear is Flowdesk. Flowdesk is very pretty and it's very fun to look at, but it is not the most effective because it doesn't offer a whole lot of conditional options, but it's great for people who are like hairstylists and photographers and creative based people who really want their email marketing to be very visual and very captivating. If you are just like trying to get information out there, or you're just showcasing, products and things like that, then MailerLite, not MailChimp, I hate MailChimp, but MailerLite is a really great option. And then, of course, Klaviyo is great for Shopify. Klaviyo is not super pretty. It's a little bit more confusing to use. Oh, well, not a little bit. It's a lot more confusing to use, quite clunky, but it does offer a lot of that conditional marketing and connect with Shopify, which makes it a lot easier. So to use with Shopify could be like, even to say like, they've purchased this product. You can do this in MailerLite too, but they've purchased this product. I want them to get this email. Like it, Klaviyo is usually used for Shopify, but MailerLite is a great option too. If you can't tell, MailerLite's my favorite. Okay. That was a quick email marketing spiel. There's so much that we can deep dive into email marketing and how to connect it to your website and how to utilize it and all of these things, but we're not going to deep dive into it today because then we would be here forever. And nobody ain't got time for that as small business owners. So let's jump right into the next one, which is socials. So your social platforms are probably one of the things that you are considering doing, maybe even before you do your website or before you do your email marketing. It is the first thing people say, I need to build my brand. I'm going to get on social media. We oftentimes start or see clients starting with Instagram and Facebook. The most common, Meta owns them both. This is where most people start. Then we often see TikTok, and that's a little controversial, kind of depends on how you feel about it. Pinterest and LinkedIn are also two that are pretty common. X/Twitter, what used to be Twitter, and now Blue Sky are getting to be more common. And really Twitter or X, I guess, kind of depends on what your business is. I don't see a ton of businesses using it for business stuff right now. It really has fallen more to the political side. So not a whole lot of people using it, but it does sometimes happen. And then of course you have Threads with Instagram. So what social platforms you're going to want to be on really depend on your business, and also depend on there's YouTube too, which is not really social, but can be. Did I say LinkedIn? Obviously LinkedIn. But what your business does and how you want to reach your target audience will really depend on what social platforms you want to utilize. Facebook and Instagram, I usually recommend for every single business, because no matter what you do, because these are the two places that people will go to look for you right off the bat. Facebook is especially great for physical based businesses. People will go to your Facebook page to find your hours, to find your location, all sorts of stuff like that. So that's important to have. And then even if you are not a physical based business, when you do Instagram, you can easily cross post it to Facebook. So if you have posts going up on Instagram, then go directly up on Facebook as well. And it really just gives you a physical, or not physical, but a presence on Facebook. Because when people do go to look you up, they might look you up on Facebook. The other great thing about having Facebook, which I know is archaic for a lot of younger generations, but depending on your business, the type of business you have, you may want to end up doing Facebook groups or being part of them, or maybe even hosting your own, which is a great marketing tactic for some businesses. And so you're going to want to have a Facebook page so you can interact as your page and things like that. So usually Facebook and Instagram are like my basics. When I have clients come in wanting to do socials, those are the two we generally always do. Next is TikTok. Generally what I do, and this is not for everybody, some people start on TikTok because that's where they're comfortable. But generally what I do is I will take any reels or TikToks and cross post them to the other platform. So if it goes on Instagram first, we will take that video, download it. There's different programs you can download it, share it onto TikTok, or vice versa. So we kind of have that cross posting of content. And we do it that way. So basically anything that goes on Instagram goes on TikTok. And again, kind of depends on the business and how you are structuring your different profiles and how you want to reach your target demographics. But generally, that's what we do. Now, LinkedIn and Pinterest can be very different from what you have on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Reason being, LinkedIn is usually utilized more for B2B, business to business, versus business to customer. You can find some customers on LinkedIn, and I have myself found clients on LinkedIn, especially if you're service based. But in general, you will find people coming to you as business to business. Not, I don't want to say in general because it really can depend. You really can find a lot of clients or customers on LinkedIn, but the language you use, the voice you have, is a lot more professional, a lot more formal. You're not sharing your TikTok dances on LinkedIn. So you may have to change the way you speak and how you present yourself and your content on LinkedIn to completely differently than you do on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook. You're not going to be sharing your business hours on LinkedIn or anything like that. But this is a place that you can really speak to your professional expertise. And, if you're using it on your personal LinkedIn, how you yourself outside of your business are a professional, are an expert in this area, whatever it might be, or your product is the best in this area because XYZ. But really, your voice is going to change. The content you provide on LinkedIn really is going to change. Pinterest also is one that your content will kind of change. Pinterest is actually not a social platform, but people lump it in together. It's actually a search engine. And so this is a place where if you want people to find you, this is where you are sharing your products, you're sharing your blog post, you're sharing your like your educational information that you're sharing on social media. These are the places where if you want people to search for you, these are the short little snippets where they can find you. And so you're going to change your graphic size, you're going to change your captions. So socials are going to be a little bit different for Pinterest as well. And then, like I mentioned, with X and Blue Sky and even Threads, these are all text-based. You're not sharing videos or graphics or anything on there generally. And so this is more conversational. Could be you as a brand, but it also could be you as a person, especially if your brand is you. And this falls under a little bit more conversational, closer to LinkedIn type of language and voice, but still can be a lot more casual than LinkedIn might be. So all of that to keep in mind. You may not need every platform. I don't use every platform, but depending on what your business is, you are going to want to use specific platforms. Like I said, Facebook and Instagram is great for everybody. LinkedIn is really beneficial if you're talking B2B or you as an expertise in your area. Pinterest is a great platform to really showcase like your actual things that you do, your services, your products, your educational information. And then TikTok's just like super fun. I don't know. And then YouTube is another one, which again is not really social, turned more into a search engine. This is your short and long form content. We will often cross post reels or TikToks onto YouTube as shorts. And then we'll also do long form content, podcasts, tutorial videos, things like that will go up on YouTube as well. So that's another place that you may want to consider. Okay, let's kind of go back to the email marketing and to the website part and talk about an opt-in and why you are going to want to have an opt-in as you get started in the digital side of your business. So I talked about socials before I talked about the opt-in, even though it has to do with email marketing, because I want to talk about how you can utilize this on social media. An opt-in, if you don't know, is basically something that you offer your audience, your customers, your clients for free or usually for free, in exchange for their email address. So this might be a discount code or a PDF download or the first chapter of your book or, your top 5 business books or whatever, something like that. Something that you offer your audience and they have to put in their email address to get it. In exchange for their email address, they are now on your email marketing list. Like I talked about before, one of the most underutilized platforms is your email marketing platform. And a great way to start building that up is to offer an opt-in. For product-based businesses, a discount code. For service-based businesses, this could be some sort of expert advice that you give in the form of a PDF download. For creative-based businesses, hairdressers, hairstylists, this could be a discount to a service or a free service or something like that. So it could, or like a free little freebie, like a free shampoo or something like that. I mean, that's kind of expensive, but like, you know what I mean? Something free. Bring in this coupon and we'll give you XYZ in exchange for their email marketing. And the reason why I say you're going to want to have this at the beginning of your business as you were starting to build is because you want to start building that email list. So by having an option, having something you can offer your audience that may draw them into your service, your product, will really help to boost your email list. And the way you share this opt-in, one, of course, is your website. It might be a pop-up when somebody comes to your website. It pops up with a discount code. It might be something that's on your homepage or on a blog post page. Like, let's say you do blog posts. I've done it a lot with my kids. Like, hey, put in your email address and you'll get the instructions and the printouts for this craft to your email inbox. You can put in your email address and the craft gets sent to your email inbox. Or if you're doing recipes, you might get the recipe emailed to your inbox with the grocery list or whatever it is, right? Lots of different ways to utilize it. So you can utilize it, like I said, on your website as a pop-up or within your website, within blog posts, within a homepage, someplace. But one of the best ways I really like to do this with clients is to do what's called a lead magnet. A lead magnet is basically a separate page on your website that allows them to download this product, sign up for the discount code, whatever it is. You basically will just have the form that says, hey, if you are interested in getting XYZ, put in your email address in here and I'll send it right to your inbox. The reason why this is unique rather than having a pop-up or it being someplace on your website is that you can take that website page, your url.com/ whatever the lead magnet is, whatever the opt-in is, and you can share that on social media. You can share it as a link in your stories. You can share it as a link in your bio. You can put it in the caption on Facebook. You can put it in the caption in LinkedIn. You can make it a Pinterest pin. There are so many ways you can put in show notes. You can put it at the bottom of a YouTube video. There are so many ways that you can utilize this opt-in that make it easy for your clients or your customers to actually get to it versus just being like, just go to my website and scroll down 3/4 of the way and you'll see a button there, or go to this blog post page and you'll see it at the end of the blog post. Like, you can actually have just a link that says, fill this out, and it makes it so easy for them. It's important to remember that we are a fast consumption society. We want something quick. We want something easy. If you tell me I've got to go to your website and then go to this blog post and then scroll 3/4 of the way down, I'm not going to do it. I need something that I can just click on, put in my email address, and get it right away. That is the easiest way for you to get people into your email list. So now you have it connected to your website in some way. You have it for email marketing. You're getting people on your list and you're sharing it on social media. So now once you have your socials up, you can create this opt-in that's connected to your website, that's connected to your email marketing, and you can start building that email list and generating leads. Last but not least is your content calendar. This is something that you may be thinking is feeling really overwhelming. How are you going to share this content? How are you going to figure out what to share with your audience and how to talk to your audience? The content calendar I find to be really important to get off your plate first as you're starting your business, even though it may feel like it's the last thing you want to be thinking about, is because if you start yourself off on the right foot with a content calendar that is sustainable for you, it will be a heck of a lot easier to continue to grow your business and or to hand it off to somebody else in the future. Now, with new businesses and new or in a growth phase of a business, what I like to do is tell a client, all right, what's one thing that you actually like doing when we talk about content creation? Whether it's, do you really like to do reels? Do you prefer long form videos? Do you like to write blog posts? Do you like to do podcasts? What do you find is easiest for you to do? For me, it's podcasts. Podcasts are easy for me to do. I don't do them consistently because I get caught up with work and clients, but they are easiest for me to do. It's easier for me to do than a reel. It's easier for me to do than sitting down and writing a blog post. It's easier for me than writing an email marketing campaign. It's easier for me than doing really anything else. Podcasts are easiest. And so we'll take whatever that is. If they're like, I love doing reels. I love creating them, whatever. If you are that person, I envy you completely because it is something that I do not like doing. And so we will then curate content based on that thing that they like to do. So if they like to do reels, we'll say, okay, let's come up with a content calendar for your reels. Let's come up with ideas of what we're going to be doing for these reels specifically. And then let's take those reels and utilize them into different places. Okay, if you're going to do this reel about this topic, we're going to rewrite the caption and put that on LinkedIn. We're going to put that also on Pinterest and on TikTok. And then let's take that caption, let's utilize our chat GPT and let's utilize our copywriter to expand this topic into a blog post. And if they want to do podcasts, that kind of depends on them, or long form videos, that kind of depends on the business. But let's take that, we'll make it into a blog post and put that up on your website. And let's create an opt-in around it. And you don't have to do that every time, right? Every reel doesn't have to be an opt-in. Or every reel doesn't need to be a blog post. But for some of these educational pieces, you really could do that. I really love doing it with podcasts because I can do that. Oh, and email marketing. Let's send this out as an email marketing newsletter. Let's create, use ChatGPT, use our copywriter, and we'll take that caption, we'll expand upon it, and we'll put it in an email newsletter to reach your list, right? That's it. I really like to do this with podcasts. I find it to be easiest to do with podcasts or any long form videos, because then you can take that transcription, you can make it into a blog post, you can make it into an email marketing newsletter, and then you can take whatever you're talking about and make reels from it. Say, for this podcast, in fact, I'll probably go back and make a reel that quickly lists the 5 different things that you're going to need for your digital to start your business, the digital side of your business, as a reel. And then I'll share that, and then I'll link to this podcast episode so that they can then go and listen to this episode to expand upon it. And that's how I reach my target audience, right? Maybe I'll make an opt-in for it. Who knows? I don't know. The possibilities are endless. And so it is really nice to say, okay, what can I do? What is something that organically I'm okay doing, I'm comfortable doing, I like doing, and how can I utilize that in multiple places? And so then you have this great big content calendar that can, and maybe not great big, but you have an idea of what you want to be doing for your content to share with your clients or with your customers, that can make content a lot easier. Of course, you can hire somebody who can help you with all of that stuff. Social media and content creation are generally the first things that people will outsource because it is so inundating. Most business owners, unless you are an influencer, really don't think about creating content. That's not what they started their business for. They didn't start their business to become Instagram influencers. And so content creation can feel really overwhelming and daunting and like exhausting for a business owner. That's usually the first thing that gets outsourced. So I would say if that is your struggle point, even hiring somebody to do marketing consulting and help you to create that content calendar and then tell you, hey, you're going to do a video on this. This is what you're going to do for this video. This is like the video production process, the script you're going to do, how you're going to shoot the video, and then you do that. That can really help. Or if they say, here's your captions, you go and make the graphics for your social content, or this is what you're going to talk about on LinkedIn. That can really, really help you to get started with your content creation. And then when you get to a point that you're ready to expand upon that, or you're ready to outsource that, you can go ahead and do that. Some people don't like to. Some people are like, no, I love my socials. I'm going to do that. I want you to do the blog posts. I want you to do the newsletters. And that's fine too. So again, lots of things to get your business started. And if you jump back to one of our first episodes called Bringing Your Idea to Execution, I talk about like if you're in this dreamer phase and you're like, I don't even know where to get started, like I'm so overwhelmed with what this idea could look like out in the world, go listen to that episode. We walk through like putting yourself in the customer or client's shoes and starting to think about what that person would expect. And that can lead you to starting to think about all the little things that you as the business owner need to have in place for that customer or client to reach those expectations. Go back and listen to that episode. It can be really helpful. But as you're starting to get to that point and you're starting to think, okay, what do I really need to get my online presence out there? These are your 5 things: your website, your email marketing, your socials, your opt-in, and your content calendar. Okay, that's it for me today. I hope this helped you guys kind of give you a little bit of a boost and some ideas going in your head. You have some notes, hopefully, in your little notebook. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to chat with people. It's my favorite thing to do, talk about business. And join our Facebook group. We have a brand new Facebook group. I'm going to put it in the show notes down here below. It's called the Startup Collective Build Your Own Business Facebook group. It is a group of small business dreamers and small business startups who are just starting to get to learn the tech stack behind their business and how to grow it from the ground up. I do live videos once a week in there, and we do some networking and just chit-chatting and questions being asked and all sorts of stuff in there. So head over there. Again, it'll be in the show notes for you guys, and you can join our Facebook group and get some more info. All right, talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope we gave you some valuable insight into building and growing your own business. Head over to the Startup Collective to learn more about building your business from the ground up. We teach you how to get started in your business, to include designing a high converting website, creating your email marketing, growing your audience and customer base through social media and digital marketing, and even business photography and more. If you're in the scaling phase of your business, join our Grow Your Own Business group coaching. We will give you weekly tasks and accountability in growing your business the right way, and we actually show you how to do it. Visit us at thestartupcollective.co today and follow us on Instagram at The Startup Collective. Dream, start, build, and grow. See you next time.